everyone, this is Professor Benjamin, and this is Thanksgiving week. This week we will not be meeting in the classroom, but we still have due dates in college. Even though it is a holiday week, we don't kind of just say, oh, it's a holiday week, so everyone has off. So I'm going to walk you through what you have due this week, and then if you have any questions or concerns, you can always email me and ask me questions over the next 3 days. So technically, remember, the college is closed Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It is back open on Sunday again, in terms of like a technical calendar. So this week we are supposed to cover networking. And as you can say here, I have a little reminder to keep in mind this is a holiday weekend. So if you have plans over the holiday weekend, I don't know if your family or friends get together over the weekend. I'm not sure how you celebrate, or even if you do celebrate Thanksgiving. You need to be mindful that we still have due dates. So if you feel that it may be too much for you this weekend because you might have things going on, kicking off maybe another holiday season. If you celebrate Kwanzaa, or you celebrate Christmas, or you celebrate Hanukkah, it's the start of a lot of different events this week. So I would suggest that you complete your work before the due date, just so that you have an idea of, so that it doesn't throw you for a loop partway through the week. So this week, again, we have our overview as always, and it just gives you a brief overview about networking. And then you have your readings. We don't have very many readings this week because we actually don't have a quiz this week. Whew, finally, 1 week without a quiz. But you do have a discussion post. So you have your initial post due by Thursday, and then your response posts, 2 of them to a classmate by Sunday. You have a mindfulness moment, and I want to we're going to launch our Mindfulness Project in this video as well, because this will give you an idea that this Mindfulness Project is what replaces a final exam. So it's a big deal. So if you're not doing well in this class, this Mindfulness Project is huge for you to complete, and with a little oomph. So when the paper says, I think it's 2 to 3 pages, you really want to make sure you have paragraphs, proper grammar, mechanics. You want to have someone proofread it, etc. Okay, so you really want to make sure that you have written a well-developed paper for this, because this is taking the place of what would be like a cumulative final exam. So it's really important. And if you see here, I've added something extra here. I have a Feel the Love, because I am grateful for each and every one of you. You have an extra credit opportunity. So what you'll do is you can submit one of the assignments you missed. You cannot submit the snapshot project or the financial plan, but you can submit any other assignment that you may have missed, or maybe that you didn't gain all credit on this semester. You will submit it to this portal here, and then what I'll do is I'll go back and change the grade of the assignment that you have. Okay, so you'll submit it in this portal, and then what I'll do is I'll go back and change that. Now, here's the kicker. This is due by Wednesday, November 24th, 11:59. So you want to make sure that Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday you work on this extra credit assignment for me. So if you're not doing well in the class, this is a great way for you to go back and resubmit an assignment that you've missed. Now, remember, it doesn't include the snapshot presentation, the financial plan, or a mindfulness moment or quizzes, discussions. It's just those weekly assignments that you have due. All right, so take note to that. Please take note to it. So this week we cover networking, and I want to briefly go over networking before I launch that mindfulness project for you. So networking is a really important tool. It is more important than many of the other things that you will learn in terms of books in college. It is absolutely important to network with people. It's difficult for me to network. I'm more of an introverted type person, so to network with people at a conference sometimes puts me out of my comfort zone, but I've learned over the years that it's super duper important. So I'm going to tell you a little brief story, and then I'm going to briefly talk about the readings that we have. So I right now am mentoring a student, and her name is Kristen Johnson, and she is at Temple University right now, and her ultimate goal is to go to law school. That is like her number one thing. So I had her as a a student at Community College of Philadelphia. She has since transferred to Temple, and then within probably a year and a half, she will be moving on to law school somewhere. And I know, believe me, she will definitely excel in law school. And her big platform is social justice. She really wants to go into law that fights systematic racism in the United States, which is definitely, of course, after this past week, it's something that we need. And not just this week, but what we've seen over the past 100, 200, 300 years, we need to change. And we need more students like Kristen who want to go in fields like this. So Kristen and I every year we speak twice a year, and we have a little meeting, and she tells me about what she's doing and where she's been and who she's gotten in touch with, etc. And then we kind of compile things, and I help her write letters of recommendation, etc. And so one of the big things was Kristen needed to start to network in her field. So I have a friend who is right now in law school, UCLA, and she is going into social justice law school. So she's going into law school, and her predominant study there is going to be social justice. So through networking, Kristen told me about her situation and what she wanted to do. And I know someone, my daughter is friends, and it's her stepsister. And I was able to contact her, and Kristen and her have gotten in touch with each other, and they have talked and have been mentoring other way around. So Kristen has been a mentee to Miss Campbell. So it's been a wonderful situation, and it's all through networking that this has all come about. And without networking, you really don't understand that the more people you talk to, and the more you get your story around, and the more you share, and the more you have a passion about and want to learn more about, the better it's going to be. So I don't know, a lot of you in here have shared things about you. Maybe you like cheer, maybe you want to be a cheer coach one day, right? So you want to absorb as much cheer as you possibly can. Some of you are really unbelievable artists, right? And you've shared that with me. So networking with people who are in the art field. And listen, there are tons of people out there who want to talk about what they do. And a lot of times for us, it's just that initial hurdle to overcome where we have to reach out to somebody and we feel uncomfortable doing that. But with social media today, sometimes it's a lot easier because you don't actually have to see the person in face to face. You could maybe just send them an email to break the ice. And we've talked about how to email people in this class. And so it's really important for you to reach out. So if you can, maybe this week, try and reach out, try and network with somebody. Maybe over the holiday weekend, if you have family coming in that you haven't seen in a long time, tell them about what you're learning at school. Tell them what your interests are. You never know. That person could say, oh, I have an internship. Would you like to do this internship? There are so many things that come from networking. Job after job after job comes from networking with people. A lot of times it doesn't come from applying. It comes from networking with individuals. So networking is so important. And Isaac here, Isaac talks about networking, and he shares really great stories about networking. And his last big bone is persistence. You need to be persistent. Even if your dream is maybe it is law school one day, your dream, right? But along the way, sometimes we're learning and gaining experiences at things that are going to help us reach our end goal. So sometimes it's not the best thing to maybe down a job because it's not the exact job we want. Maybe take the job on and you're going to learn skills that are going to help you network to get your next job. And that is what's really, really important. It's like a ladder that you need to start at the bottom sometimes and you work your way up. And through word of mouth, you do this and you do that and you do this and you do that. My first adjuncting job was when I was working at New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. Someone there was adjuncting and he could not continue teaching his course anymore. He said to me, listen, hey, next semester, do you want to take over my course? And that's what got me in the door teaching as an adjunct at a community college. And then from there, I learned that I liked to teach. And then I moved on to teach high school. And then I moved on to teach full-time at Community College of Philadelphia. And all of that just came from networking with someone at my job who then gave me an opportunity for another job. So networking is really, really important. So enough about networking. Don't forget you have a post due. So you have your post due. There's no quiz this week. So you have your post due by Thursday, 2 response posts by Sunday. If you want to get them out of the way, you're more than welcome. You have a mindfulness moment for this week. You have your extra credit due as well. Remember, the extra credit is due by Wednesday. The due date is right here. Right here, I want to just briefly talk to you about your mindfulness project. So remember, again, this is your final exam, so it's huge. You got to go into it with gusto. And it's to experience more types of mindfulness activities, to figure out which form of mindfulness best suits your needs and personality, to reflect on the role of mindfulness in your education, career, and personal life. You are going to complete at least 5 more mindfulness activities or coloring pages from the College Mindfulness workbook that you haven't already done as part of this course. Remember, as we were going through the semester, I told you it's really important that you actually do the mindfulness projects, the mindfulness moments in your book, because this way at the end of the semester, you don't have to go back and try and figure out which ones you were supposed to do. So it's really important that you know which mindfulness moments we've already done, and then you're going to pick at least 5 additional mindfulness moments, and you're going to complete them from our College Mindfulness Workbook. Remember, if you do not have the paper copy of it, which every single one of you should, there is in the first mindfulness moment, if you go all the way back to week 1, there's a link to download the file. Okay, so there's no reason you shouldn't have your mindfulness moment book. You're going to take pictures or screenshots of these 5 activities and upload them to, of course, this portal. And then you are going to write a 2 to 3 page reflection paper. Remember, this includes paragraphs, it includes proper grammar, proper spelling, proper mechanics, 1-inch margins, 12 new times font. So all of that kind of requirements are here. And you're going to reflection that answers the following questions. You have to answer all of these questions in your writing. Okay, so what has your experiences been with mindfulness this semester? How did you respond to the different activities? What do you think you had? Why do you think you had this response? What are the benefits of mindfulness? Now, remember, if you're going to go out on the internet and you're going to look up information, you need to source that information too. So you need to make sure that if you're copying from somewhere, that you also are using quotation marks or you're using in-text citations, and then you're including those sources at the end of your post. Okay, so at the end of your paper. So really important. And of course, if you have any other questions for that, you can reach out and we'll go over it next week as well in class. What form of mindfulness works for you? Moving forward, can you continue to make mindfulness a part of your education, future career, or personal life? And who in your life can you teach mindfulness to, and what will you teach them and why? So this is your final paper for me. It's not due now. It's due December 13th. No extensions can be given because I think grades are due like the very next day. But it's really important for you to get a jump on this. So it's something that you may want to start now, and then you won't feel like at the end of the semester you have all of these mindfulness moments to do. All right, so that kind of covers what you have due this week for me. Again, if you ever have questions, feel free to reach out. I definitely will be available this weekend. I will do my best to get back to you. If you have questions, again, reach out. If you need to, make sure you do the extra credit. Like, really important for you to complete the extra credit if you're not doing well in this class and you want to gain some more points. Okay, remember, the extra credit is due by the 24th, whereas the mindfulness moment reflection is due by Sunday, the 28th, and then you have your initial post due by next Thursday, response posts by Sunday. Again, I hope that you learn a lot this week about networking, and I hope you enjoy the holiday weekend if you do celebrate Thanksgiving. If not, I hope you get a much needed break and you're able to catch up on anything that you are kind of struggling with. And hopefully you can take some time to do a mindfulness moment.